to overtime. Dwayne Wade right at the body of Anderson Varejao. Welcome to your Kodak moment, Anderson Varejao.
Doncic pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Doncic wins the game at the buzzer!
And let's start it out with, talking about the NFL draft order. Because, look, the NFL is fun as hell right now, but there is as many funny storylines at the bottom as there is at the top. As is the draft order would be, number one would be the Giants or the Jets, depending on what league you look, what report you look at. And then it's Falcons, then the, whichever one it isn't, Giants or Jets. Then it's the Miami Dolphins from the Texans. And, it just keeps going. Here we go. Excuse me, I should probably be more prepared when it comes to the NFL, but I kind of got myself out of whack a little bit with, talking about politics. It's not what we do here, I swear. If you're not into that, this is not what we usually do. And if you are into that, I'm sorry, it's not what we usually do, but we make great content nonetheless. It would be 1 Giants, 2 Atlanta, 3 Jets, 4 Miami via Houston, 5 Dallas, 6 Washington, 7 Chargers, 8 Miami again, 9 Detroit, 10 Denver. And at the top of things, they're predicting for a Buffalo Green Bay Super Bowl just based off of strength of schedule and win percentage. Look, the Giants and Jets have some decisions to make, and Atlanta as well. I mean, look, Atlanta's been sticking around and saying, no, Matt Ryan's our guy. But what happens if they get the first overall pick? Is Matt Ryan still their guy? I don't know. They could get a haul, but at the same time, don't you want to guarantee that you have another 15 years of great quarterback play? You'd be putting him into a good situation offensively. Julio, Calvin Ridley, Hayden Hurst has had a very silent year, but is still a good tight end. The interior offensive line is awful, but, the tackles aren't bad. Chris Lindstrom is still there. And the defense is a mess, but look, Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be playing defense. The Giants, look, Daniel Jones has been awful. 2 touchdowns this whole year to 5 interceptions. Oh, is it 7 interceptions now? 5 or 7, something like that. It hasn't been good. And he's regularly missing good reads, looking more and more like Blaine Gabbert day to day. Do you give up on him? I think you should. I think there's no way you get stuck on average when great is right around the corner. The Jets, Sam Darnold, look, he has issues with inaccuracy, but he's still in the worst situation in the league. And he does show promise. He does show promise sometimes. He makes some crazy throws that maybe five quarterbacks in the league could make. And the Jets have destroyed him. But do they believe in him anymore? I don't know. And that's kind of sad to see. Dallas coming up on a contract year with Dak again. Do they want to pay him or do they want to use that first round pick on a quarterback? Franchise tag Dak and get some value out of him. Washington, Dwayne Haskins has looked awful. Not as bad as Daniel Jones, surprisingly, but he's been very bad. And this is a team that's, limited stuff to work with on offense, but lots to work with on defense. And, the Ron Rivera slander was very loud, but he's still a very good coach. Up and down this whole draft, there are quarterback needy teams, but they're not so needy that they need to trade up. And that's what's confusing. That's what's insane. Because one way or another, you're going to get teams that, just kind of stuck around, kept getting worse. And then it's like, all right, well, we have Gardner Minshew who, yeah, he's had a decent year, but, he's still nothing to be certain about. Let's go with Trey Lance. We're at pick 11 right now. He'll be there. Let's go Trey Lance. Yeah, Trey Lance. Out of North Dakota State University. Cool. A powerhouse school. Oh, I mean, look, we're Detroit. Matt Stafford, it hasn't really looked the same under Patricia. Let's give a new coach a new quarterback to work with too. Yeah. Drafted a quarterback. Brings intrigue to your team. Woo. No. It's not going to happen. There's 3 first-round quarterbacks to me this year. Being, obviously Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance. And I think, Trey Lance did not look good in that one game. That could hurt him. But at the same time, it's so similar to Jordan Love. It's a Jordan Love that's more put together. That's something to be excited for. That's something to look forward to. And I'm amazed at the fact that Carolina has won 2 straight. I did not see that coming. As for the Giants and the Jets losing 4 straight, I did see that coming. As for the Falcons being 0-4, how the hell does Dan Quinn still have a job? And speaking of having a job, Bill O'Brien got fired for both his roles. And I know someone who's an avid Texans fan sent him a text saying, congratulations from one 0-4 team to another. And he went, abso-fucking-lutely. He went, thank God he is gone. But look, here's the issue. First and second round picks both going to the Dolphins this year. For a package of Kenny Stills and Laramie Tunsil last year. And as it looks, those are going to be the 4th and the 36th pick overall. If everything stays the same. Which you cannot afford it to stay the same with Deshaun Watson. I know he just got his extension, but you cannot allow that. Not a chance. You can't trade DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson a 2nd and a 4th. And then, immediately turn around and be the league's worst rushing team. Can't trade away DeAndre Hopkins and then not have a number 1 wide receiver. You have a bunch of 2s. You have a bunch of 2s and maybe a 3 or 4. You have Will Fuller, who's a good compliment. Kenny Stills, who's a good compliment. Brandon Cooks, who's a good compliment. You have somehow done the impossible and taken the Eagles wide receiver core and made a worse version of it. Which is, let me tell you what, damn hard to do. You've built the Eagles wide receiver core without any injuries. And you're acting like it's good. So, Josh McDaniels of the Patriots has been heralded as the new head coach of the Houston Texans. And there will be a lot of coaching availabilities this offseason. I tell you that. Atlanta's going to be open. New York Giants probably going to be open if Dave Gettleman is fired, because they're not going to bring in a good GM with another coach sitting there. I like Joe Judge, but, he's not worth taking yourself out of big names for, and I love Eric Bieniemy. I think Eric Bieniemy and Trevor Lawrence together, that's fireworks. If Saquon Barkley comes back healthy, that's crazy. That's insane. And that would be fun to watch. And that may just give Giants fans hopes again. Adam Gase is going to be out of the Jets. If he's not, Jets fans, I am so sorry for getting your hopes up. Matt Patricia better be out of Detroit. Better. I'm telling you, it better happen. Zach Taylor might be a surprise firing. Joe Burrow is playing great, but the wins just aren't there. Do we think Mike Zimmer has a chance of being out if the Vikings take that far of a step back? Maybe. There's going to be some openings, is what I'm trying to say. And the teams at the top, they're set in stone. But I think, Atlanta's going to be open, which is probably the best win now roster. New York Giants is going to be open, which is probably the best, marketing gig. And they're going to have a top pick. So if you want, a new quarterback and you want to, sell tickets, you can do that. Detroit's going to be open. Actually, I can't say very much nice about Detroit. They have a franchise quarterback, I think. They don't have a secondary or a pass rush. And they've loaded up on these versatile linebackers from the Patriots that aren't performing as well in Detroit. So I can't tell you much there. They have a good wide receiver duo in let me remember this. Kenny Golladay and what's his name? Oh, I have him on my fantasy team.